All right, coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, all eyes on Capitol Hill as another government shutdown seems almost imminent. Senate Democrats are holding firm against funding the Department of Homeland Security in response to ICE-related unrest in Minnesota. We're going to have those details for you in just a moment. Plus, President Trump Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and others are set to headline a summit on the new Trump accounts. This is the plan the administration says will revive the American dream for the youngest Americans. We're going to check in later on. Also, Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, says she's done taking orders from Washington, D.C. This comes as the Trump administration continues to pressure the country to ramp up oil production following the ousting of socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro. Those stories more, too, as the second hour of American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody, coming to you from D.C. Let's bring in Dr. G in West Palm, T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning to both of you. It is Wednesday. It is also the day after Dr. G's birthday. How is everything? Did it go well?
It did.
How-
I had friends
Good.
come in from Utah, and we did a bonfire with our Christmas tree in my backyard. It was freezing cold. It felt like I wore my fur coat. It felt like I was in, I don't know, one of the places you all live where you get the cold weather. It's really cold in Florida.
Terrence, you know the deal. When the minute she said freezing cold, we started to roll our eyes. I know.
Right,
I know.
right.
No, it's
Yeah.
down in the 50s.
Okay.
I mean, that's cold though when you're not equipped. That's the thing. It's all about where you're equipped. I remember when I moved from Missouri to
You don't
Alabama.
have to be equipped in 50-degree temperature. That's like a sweatshirt and some shorts. Like equipped? Really? 50 degree? Hey, look. Can I just go off the rail real quick? We're talking about these Trump accounts. $1,000 for babies born between 2025 and 2028. I'm wondering how many families are having conversations, how many guys are rolling over and saying, hey, babe, so you know we can get $1,000 for free, $1,000 of free cash if we have another baby. Mm-hmm. And wives are probably like, dude, really? Really? That's your pitch to me? I wonder what kind of conversations or how many of those conversations are being had. Am I the only person that's thinking that? I very well may be because my brain can be out there sometimes. But I wonder if those conversations are being had.
I think
No
that's
one's
part
going
of
to
it.
touch that? No?
I don't know how to answer
No
that.
one's going to touch that?
Terrence, you're out there on that gangplank all by yourself right now.
All right.
What were you saying, Gina? But go ahead. What were you saying about the weather, right? Or was it something like that? I don't know. Where are
So
we in this segment?
I probably should just
each
go
of us
put
are having
myself
our
in timeout.
own conversations right now. So audience, we hope you're enjoying this. No, Terrence, I mean, I think you make a point, but I do think that, here's the thing that you take into consideration as a lawmaker. I watched my husband learn this over and over again. Whatever you incentivize, almost doesn't matter even how much, is what happens more. There is more of what you incentivize. So if you incentivize welfare, if you incentivize not working, if you incentivize fathers out of the home, those kinds of things, you get more of it. So I think the idea is the opposite of that with this. I don't know, it's just what I think.
Okay. Well, I'll take us off of this gangplank that I walked us onto and get some headlines. Customs and Border Protection, offering up new details about Saturday's deadly shooting in Minneapolis. In a notice to Congress on Tuesday, CBP confirming that 2 federal officers fired shots during the deadly confrontation with Alex Preddy. You can see it all unfolding here. Investigators say as the Border Patrol officers wrestled with Preddy while trying to arrest him, one of the agents repeatedly yelled, "He's got a gun." Eventually, 2 of them pulled their guns and fired. The report from CBP is the most comprehensive analysis of what happened to date. Meantime, border czar Tom Homan and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz have agreed to continue talking as they try to iron out challenges in implementing the president's immigration plans in the Twin Cities. The president plans to reshuffle his immigration operation amid the backlash in Minnesota by putting Homan over immigration and customs enforcement in the Minneapolis area. As for the increasing number of face-offs and interactions between private citizens and federal agents who are simply trying to do their jobs, Homan says enough is enough. President Trump back at the White House this morning following Tuesday's trip to Iowa, which was likely a welcome distraction from the chaos that's happening in Minneapolis. The commander-in-chief used the trip to kick off plans for weekly events across the country in support of Republican candidates leading up to November's midterm elections. During his first stop in the Des Moines area, POTUS focused on the economy, affordability, as well as energy. Today, he'll address the issue of Trump accounts for kids, as I just mentioned a little while ago. We'll, of course, have live coverage for you throughout the day. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get a quick check of your forecast from Weather Nation meteorologist Tracy Anthony. She's got some hometown forecasts for us. Tracy, good morning.
Hey, good morning. We're heading out to Clarkston, Michigan. This coming in on Rumble from Megan. You're going to be dealing with some snow throughout the day today. Still some lake effect snow across Michigan, but then we're going to stay chilly and dry through the rest of the weekend. Here's that light at the end of the tunnel. After this cold Arctic air, finally, temperatures are going to start to warm up into next week. A similar situation for Wisconsin as well. Just a few more overnights with sub-zero overnight temperatures. You get a little snow on Sunday, but then once again, we're getting closer to a daytime high, close to freezing. So this is Beloit, Wisconsin, coming in off Getter from Conserve Forever. Now, all eyes are on the weekend. We have another system that could move up the coast. It's that coastal low you've maybe heard about already, but the Arctic air is still going to grip most of the U.S., especially east of the Rockies. Even Miami has an overnight low down in the 30s. Miami hasn't felt temperatures in the 30s since 2010, so it's been 16 years. So this is definitely going to be some of the coldest air of the season, but it's that low that's going to move up the coast that's really going to be the big talker. We could have more feet of snow accumulating, but it all just depends on exactly where that low tracks. And we won't really know until that low develops. So we're still a little far out, Terrence, but this is the storm system we're gonna watch pretty closely.
You had me at Miami and 30 degrees. Welcome to the real world, Miami. All right, Tracy, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's get you over to David now. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. Okay, so the midterm election season officially on. President Trump set the stage for the campaign season in a speech in Iowa where he championed his administration's gains on energy, affordability, and other issues, saying America isn't a joke anymore. Right, Joe? Let's watch.
We're not a joke. We're not being laughed at anymore. But today, just after 1 year of President Trump, our economy is booming, incomes are rising, investment is soaring, inflation has been defeated, our border is closed, totally closed. And America is respected all over the world.
All right, join us now with reaction is Tennessee Congressman John Rose. Congressman, good morning to you. So he's back out on the road. I saw there was prayer for him at the machine shed in Iowa. By the way, I've been in the machine shed in Iowa where I've gained probably 20 to 25 pounds over the years. I'm curious, and the meatloaf is great there. I'm curious to get your reaction to what President Trump said yesterday.
Well, good morning, David. Thanks for having me on American Sunrise this morning. You know, it's exciting to see the president on the campaign trail. I think in modern American politics, probably no one is better on the stump than Donald Trump, and we need him. Obviously, he has a great story to tell of the accomplishments he has achieved as president over the last 365 days plus now. It's just remarkable what he's been able to accomplish, and I've been proud to be working alongside the president in Congress to implement his vision for restoring the greatness of our country.
Congressman, obviously, President Trump back on the campaign trail, as you alluded to. This is all about the midterms, trying to maintain the current balance of power in both the House and the Senate. Put into perspective for us, from your perspective as a legislator, how important these midterms are. What's at stake?
Well, I think it's very important. Obviously, the president ran on a number of promises of what he would do for this country, and he's made dramatic progress in the last year. Really unprecedented to see what President Trump has been able to accomplish. Everything from getting the border under control to getting inflation contained, not ended, but contained, and now putting money in working Americans' pockets, seeing real wages grow for the first time since he was in office the last time. And so the president has accomplished a lot, but we know it will all come to an end if Republicans lose control of the House and or the Senate in the midterm election. So it's critically important. And we don't have to guess what Democrats will do if they get back into power. They're already telegraphing that. We'll see never-ending impeachments of every person in the administrative branch, including the president. Democrats are committed to being a stumbling block to restoring the greatness of this country. And so that's what's at stake in this election. The accomplishments that President Trump has achieved, I think, is the story. And I think that's what's going to take us to victory, along with his great campaign acumen. I think we will win in the fall, but we have to get our message out and make sure that Americans know what all has been achieved, from the dramatic tax cuts from the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Americans Tax Cuts Act, to the growing economy. We saw that the GDP in the third quarter, the latest numbers available, revised upward from 4.3 to 4.4%, with the Atlanta Fed predicting 5.4% GDP growth in the fourth quarter. If that happens, it will really be unprecedented and is really the path forward for restoring this country.
Congressman, it's looking more and more likely that we could be headed into another partial government shutdown. As you know, Democrats in the Senate are pushing hard against funding, of course, the Department of Homeland Security because of ICE, which is part of the DHS. The government reopened from the last shutdown just a few months ago after it broke records as the longest government shutdown in American history. But this doesn't even make any sense, as I understand it, because according to Steve Gruber on our show yesterday, ICE is already funded through 29. So what are they even really accomplishing here?
Exactly. And we saw this last fall. The Schumer shutdown that the Democrats put us through last fall was all about trying to preserve free health care for illegal aliens. Now they want to safeguard illegal aliens from being deported from this country by shutting down the Department of Homeland Security. I think we see where the Democrats' priorities are, and that is protecting the illegal aliens that they hustled into the country during the Biden administration to improve their electoral possibilities for the future. And now they're fighting tooth and nail to maintain those illegals' presence in this country. It's really shameful what we see progressive Democratic leaders all across this country doing. Highlighted most by what we see in Minneapolis. And now we see the Senate, which has frankly moved very slowly to get the president's agenda across the finish line. And in this case, obstructionism from the Democrats, again, just as we saw last fall, standing in the way of funding the government and keeping this country moving forward and keeping the president, trying to deter the president from fulfilling all of his campaign promises.
Yeah, Congressman John Rose, great to have you on American Sunrise this morning. I hope you'll come back. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely,
Thanks,
and appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks
again.
Congressman.
All right, appreciate it. Coming up, the Trump administration unveils a new plan it says could help jumpstart the American dream for the next generation. So what are Trump accounts? And how does the White House say they're going to expand financial opportunity for families? Talking about it after the break.